Hey, welcome back. Part 4. We're going to try to get through a little bit more here. I've got this much going on our piece, and we have a little bit more to finish up. Now I'm going to be working on the fountain of life, and that's a little challenging because this is still wet. But I'll do my best because I don't want to turn it around. The shape of the suitcase makes it a little bit difficult. I'm going to start here. You can see that it's at an angle, I think, you can't really tell that much, but it is at an angle. So I'm going to start with my red and my gold here. We're staying with the gold and see if we can get this done with just the colors that I've got. I might have to get another blue out, but we'll see. How few paint colors can you create peace with? Always the challenge. Worried that the top of my head was getting in that shot. Some of you might like to see the top of my head. Can't get it in there. Presence. We have been focusing on presence. And I was telling you about how when I was painting that I could sense that there was something in me better than me that could paint. And that is God, the energy that is God. I think the story that our society has created around God is man's story, not God's. When we start looking at ancient texts about what God is, it all points to God being an energy. Science is pointing to the fact that there is a unified energy field that connects all things. I believe that that unified energy field is God, and that that unified energy field is all-knowing and will help you run your life if you can get the story of man out of it. Get the story of man out of your life. Man, woman, humanity. I happen to believe that we've been lied to for a very long time about what our history is. And the implications of what that could mean are huge for humanity. Huge. If our story didn't start when we've all been told, but instead there was a society that thrived long before the story of what we know started, that really shifts everything. If there was a way that humanity thrived, I don't believe that we have gotten there yet. I don't believe that we have really been thriving. I believe that humanity's been controlled for a very long time. And that we are, while we are technically advanced humans, our desire to dominate and control each other is despicable. The fact that we think we always need to be right. All right, let's see. I think I'll put this gold here, and that'll be the fire. And maybe I'll mix that with the other gold. Maybe I'll mix it with this. This is the color I plan to use for the base. I think I just made a green. Oh, darn it. That's not what I was after at all. Well, let's see if we can make it work. We'll just run it right there. And then we'll go in with this. Did you see it when the blue hit that? Ah, oh, darn it. Still a little blue in there. Ooh. All right, we'll let that. I do think that'll be a good color on the base though when we get that far. Okay, I'll go back into this. The streams on the fountain are the 4 elements, and this isn't terribly scientific, but air, earth, water, and fire are the 4 elements, and you could make those represented in this fountain if that is something that brings meaning to your experience. Otherwise, you can simply imagine the fountain of life as life-giving, health, flowing health, abundance, youthfulness. The fountain can represent lots of things. Oh yeah, presence. Presence. Not looking so great on the monitor yet, you guys, but it does look pretty good in person. But here I'm going to go into the blue. Why don't I we'll make the air. I need more water. Presence. A focus on presence can absolutely change your life. A focus on presence forces you to give up all your ideas that you think you know, that you hold true. And you know what it does? It turns your brain on. Because they say we're not using all of our brain. And I believe it's true. Because when I stepped into presence. So I went on a vacation with a friend in California, in San Francisco. And I had never heard of living in the now until just a week or two before this vacation opportunity came up. And a friend had said, if opportunity comes your way, take it. And an opportunity to go on a vacation to San Francisco came up with a friend who lived nearby, and I was going to go stay with her. So I took this trip kind of on a whim, and I thought, I am going to practice being in the present moment every moment on this trip. And it's easy when you're on vacation. It's easy to be in the present moment because everything is new and fresh, and you're not doing the laundry and chasing after the children and doing all the things that you normally do, dealing with the boss and the coworkers and the employees and all the things. You're not doing any of those things. You're on vacation. So it's easy to be in the present moment. But I recognized that when I was in the present moment, I affected people in amazing ways. And they would say things to me like, your energy, you just have such good energy. I didn't know energy was a thing. I didn't know what they meant. I thought, what the heck is going on? This is so weird. Why are people so enamored with my energy? And what is this energy they're talking about? And how am I doing it? And just about then, I came across a teaching by, I think, either Deepak Chopra or Wayne Dyer about energy. And what these people were talking about was presence, because there is an energy in your presence. When you're truly giving presence to what you're doing, you are not in your head creating thoughts. And this creates love within you. You have to radiate love out when you're in the present moment. It's part of it. You're in an acceptance mode. You're in what is. Isn't that how God feels about us? You're communed with God in such a way that you're even in love with the things that seem to be going wrong, or maybe aren't. They don't fit the narrative of the story that you had been told. When you're in the present moment, you don't have other thoughts. You're just there. You're just in that moment. This moment, right now. You're just in this moment right now. One of the things that I find when I was first on this journey then, so I got back from that trip and lots of things in my life changed. I had to change them. I could no longer, once I experienced the present moment for what it was, I could no longer pretend to be anything other than what I felt I was meant to be. I had to change things. I had to shift them around. So lots of life changes happened right at that moment. And I've lost relationships through that were very heartbreaking, but maybe not forever. I like to imagine it's only for now and not forever. Because when you change abruptly, in a way, I can't explain what my thoughts are in my head to someone, and I can't say, I don't want to not live in the present moment to people who don't understand it. It's very difficult to grasp what the present moment means to someone when they've really experienced it and they desire only that. It's a desire to be in communion with God in a way that I don't believe my experience anyway in the church allowed. This is a more pure form of love and acceptance than what I could find in my religious experience. Because I don't believe that all those rules that man has made are necessary or even right. I do believe, however, that we are meant to come together. We're meant to be in community. There's a reason all these words are similar. We're meant to not cause suffering. That's really the only sin. Don't cause suffering. Sin. I caused suffering. I caused my own suffering. I was suffering in my old life. It was in the present moment that I found this project, that this project fell upon me and is now my life purpose. The present moment will lead you to your life purpose if you can just get out of your way long enough to hear it. The answers are there if you just can get out of your way to hear them. So I like to do these triangles because, well, I think they look cool. And dealing with how to make that flow over that without the triangles is a lot, so I don't even attempt it. I would love to see your versions of peace. I would love to see what you envision for the fountain. Make your own fountain. Make your own tree. Make your own lotus. Stick only enough to the symbol that people can recognize it, because by recognizing it, we have the idea, wow, there are more people like me out there. There are more people who believe. This is how we gain courage. This is how we become invincible. My dog. We become invincible when we all know that we stand together. And how else do we know we stand together? It's like a shield, you guys. This symbol is like a shield. This is what I stand for. I stand for a flexible future. One that doesn't take my freedoms away, and one where I get to make the choices that move my life forward and allow me to be the best version of myself that I can be. And I believe that we can get there in a peaceful transition. It doesn't mean it won't be bumpy. I believe there's going to be some bumps ahead. But I believe there'd be far fewer bumps if we all could come together, recognizing that we all want the same things. Wow, this thing looks completely different in the monitor than it does right here in front of me. This is really long. Here on the monitor, it's looking long, but it doesn't look that way to me here because of the angle. So interesting. Get some red, or some gold rather. Get a little fire going. Presence. Presence. Oops, that was too dark. I didn't mean that. Mm-mm-mm. That definitely looks better in the monitor than it does here. Funny the difference it makes. Okay, so I'm gonna need a little dark under there. But then we also need a little gold on it. Oops. Yeah, see, I think I like that. I like it when the fountain looks like it's going back into the base a little bit. And then these need to lighten up a little. They're too dark. I don't like that. Presence. Oh, I was going to tell you about the trick I use when I, even now, every once in a while, I'll catch myself having some terrible thought that some terrible thing is going to happen to one of my loved ones. Where did that come from? You know? What is that all about? Is that real? No. No. It's imagination. It's absolutely imagination. Not real. Not an indication of what's going to happen in your life. Something made up that your brain wants you to worry about and take you out of the present moment. Because your brain is stuck in the patterning. Totally calls it the pain body. I call it the water bag. The water bag holds on to patterns in our life. Patterns that are not good for us. Patterns that are programmed from society and not those of God. This is the free will that we have. The free will. If we were like the hummingbirds and the ants, being on the ant frequency, they don't have a choice. They don't have free will. They know how to be an ant because they're on the ant frequency, but they don't have enough brain capacity to even think beyond there could be something more than being an ant. The ant doesn't want to be a butterfly. The ant probably doesn't even know the butterfly exists because they're in the air. See, we're being bombarded all the time with other things that exist. We want to be that thing. We want to be this thing. We want that thing. We want to buy this. We got to have that. That's not the present moment. That's a story that this society has created to make you purchase things, to get you wanting more than what you have. We could foster an entirely different mentality in our society, our world society. I'm not talking about Americans here, or Germans, or Swiss. I'm talking about the world. We could create something different. Let's see, I can't see this one on my, there it is. And then this one. Alrighty. Really is not as bright. In real life, as you see it on the screen there, it's amazing. None of us should feel guilty about the things that have happened to us in the past or the person that we used to be. If we're seeking to be a better version of ourselves and we wake up new every day, that's the most that we could possibly ask for. Seek to be a better version of yourself. Seek out knowledge, wisdom. Seek the ideals that are higher than what you know now. Dog. She's evidently hearing something that is making her want to go outside. But of course. Oops. How we doing here? Getting a little bit of overlap. Oops. I think that looks better, a little more toned down anyway. Tiny bits. So I'm attempting here to make this look like it's flowing up into the fountain. That's the goal. Where'd that weird brown go? Get a little of that going in there. Bring it down. Because if it's going back up in there, then it's looking darker. That's looking pretty good. Okay. I think we need just a little bit of red going on. Let's see, we got right here. A little more in front of it. A little dot here. And I really can't see it at all. But I think it's right here. That's making it pop. Let's get a little more red in there maybe. Let's go with this one's coming right off. Growing right out of the fountain, soaking up all that goodness. Let's see. Oh, I stunted that one. It's super hard to paint upside down. I think we'll give these a little burst of red right up here. And then right down this middle. Oh, I wonder what made that happen. Looks to me like it's shaking a little bit. Presence. Presence. I had an easy time stepping into presence. It wasn't something I had to study for a long time. I had already mastered the thoughts in my head because I had been confessing. And the one thing that confession does is it makes it so you don't want to tell, you don't want to commit a sin in the church because you don't want to have to confess it. So I was already living this very focused and intentional life. I was already on my path to seeking a higher ideal. And so when I heard about presence, it wasn't that hard for me to step into the present moment. Because I had been working at it for so long, and I had been serious in the effort. I wasn't faking it. I was seeking God. I think I had an easier time of it than most people. I hear people search and search and search, and they can never let go of the story in their head. One thing though, I keep forgetting to tell you, the trick. The trick, am I going to save it till the very end, or am I going to ever get it out? The trick. A friend of mine taught me this trick, and I miss that friend. I haven't seen her for a while. I've got to contact her again. She taught me that if something comes out of your mouth that isn't positive, I don't like to think about thoughts being negative or positive, but if it's not a positive thought, it's one based in fear. So If you're thinking about these terrible thoughts that some bad thing happens to your loved one, for instance, because that's what happened to me, you can delete those thoughts. The universe understands delete. I've been told that the universe does not understand not. So if your prayers are, please don't let this thing happen to me. Don't, do not, please don't, is actually do. So you are creating an energy that brings that which you do not desire to you with a prayer that's based in fear. That's one thing I won't ever do. I try not to create fear-based prayer. Instead, I simply imagine a better future. And how that is different than prayer is that I am simply believing in the fact that the universe has such a good time in my water bag, going around with me in my water bag, that it wants to have more fun. It wants to seek out that which is more fun. And it brings me that universal experience. This is coming out really good, you guys. What fun. Let's get a little bit of something going here. Make it look a little more tree-ish. Tree-ish. I think I'll just steal from this because that's pretty thick right there. I don't need it that thick. I might have overdid it. I guess we'll wait until it dries and then we'll reassess. We got things being built outside. We've got the sun coming out. It's been a rainy few days. So delete, delete, delete is one of the tricks that I use in my arsenal of staying in the present moment tricks. I simply say to the universe, delete, delete, delete. Because I deserve better in my future than the thoughts that I was thinking in that moment that could bring a bad outcome. A lesson that maybe I don't want to have to learn. And maybe I learned it just in the thought of not having that. So delete, delete, delete. You have to remember to do that though. You have to catch yourself in the thought. I can't figure out why this is shaking. Because it's not. All right, we'll come back for one last session and finish up the two end on the fountain and the ground. All right, thanks for watching. And if you're still hanging out with me, thank you so much. We're going to try number 4 in just a minute. Thank you.